Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 66 of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Jeff, and alongside me, as always for now, are the the James Storm and Bram to my Eddie Kingston. It's Max and Craig, everybody.
I'm James Storm. I'm James Storm. I call it. I'm James Storm.
He's British. That's all right. It works.
Yeah, I'll take that.
The token Brit, right?
Just letting people know.
All right. Well, anyways, yeah, we got a fun show for you guys. As we said last week, we're transitioning into a kind of a new phase of the show. We're wrapping up, or Craig's wrapping up on this show. He'll still be on this channel, and then we'll come together for big events, including this week, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be doing our show then as a pre-show to Turning Point. This coming Saturday, and then we'll have another Sunday live show as well. So will be our normal routine for pay-per-views from now. All right, Craig, why don't you do your normal shtick? We'll talk about numbers just for a sec, and we'll get into the good stuff.
Yep. So yeah, it's me. It's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact, for your TNAIW channel. We're back. We're live. As if you didn't know already, you can find us here, you can find us there, you can find us everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Sounder, Spotify, and wherever else you podcast. If you look, as always, just below Max, the numbers are up, but of course we can still get better. Just drop us a subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. And hey, from Spotify, then drop us a follow. And maybe download us to help give a little boost to us.
Ooh. Fancy. Getting fancy there, Craig. Yeah, we are up everywhere. Thank you guys. Kind of last week we took a step back a little bit and kind of reassessed what we're going to do here. We talked about that. I already mentioned it. And with that being said, numbers are up, 70 on listens and YouTube altogether. Here as well on Twitch. We'll never do away with that. We love our Twitch and our Twitter fans, friends, Frans, as Luch and I, we're taping highlighting that show. Craig, I think you'll be on it, Max, if you're interested. And talking wrestling with me for an hour. It's like we already do that. So a lot of cool things coming from us, or I think they're cool. So stick with us. We love you guys. Thank you. I'm going to give it to Craig. Let him kick it off to the power rankings, and we'll get right into this.
Yes, as Jeff said, we have some power rankings to get to. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know either way. Kick it over to the power rankings from this week's Impact on Access TV.
Hi there, this is Taya with 3 Years of Wrestling, and here's your TNAIW Top 10 for this week. Number 10, DK. Number 9, X Division Champion Trey Miguel. Number 8, Rohit Roju. Number 7, New Japan's Rocky Romero. Number 6, New Japan's Minoru Suzuki. Number 5, World Champion Moose. Number 4, W. Morrissey. Number 3, number 1 contender Mercedes Martinez. Number 2, number 1 contenders Bullet Club. Number 1, number 1 contender Eddie Edwards. That was your top 10 Impact Wrestlers of the week. Do you agree? Let us know at TNAIW channel. Back to you guys.
Not only too controversial. It was a really good episode of Impact. Obviously, we'll get to what's the.
Maybe I'm misremembering something, but didn't Rohit beat Rocky Romero?
Yep.
How was he ranked below? I think some people need to stop smoking before they send their rankings in.
Hey man,
that makes no sense whatsoever. First, Kenny Omega couldn't get on the rankings when he was champion. And now you got a guy who lost above the dude who beat him.
Hey, man, you win some, you lose some. If you want to change that, and you don't want to be a Max and actually do something about it, at TNAIW channel, join the Power Rankings committee. Very tight-knit, prestigious rankings committee. Obviously, we never get anything wrong. So, Craig, let's get this started. Not a single person in the chat. What is going on?
There's 6 people.
Oh, there are? Hey, what's going on, guys? I can't see.
Got a few lurkers.
We're also starting at the same time Full Gear is. So I wouldn't actually expect us to necessarily be the highlight. I mean, we've got former Impact TNA champion Sting on your TV right now. So
yeah, get him while he's hot. Get him while he's hot.
Yeah.
No, good for them. Watch that. If you're watching that, and that is the reason, I don't blame you. Looks to be like a good card, and they're doing some good shit right now. So, Pro Wrestling, awesome. So if you're watching this on YouTube, listening on audio, as Craig said, even more important to hit subscribe and go from there. Craig, let's start going.
Yep. So let's kick off these hot topics. Kick off with number 1. This week's Impact on Access TV started off with the Bullet Club defeating Finn Juice to become the number 1 contenders for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. Josh Alexander confronts Scott D'Amore about his absence in the main event. Brian Myers dishes out a challenge to Sam Beal. Minoru Suzuki defeated Caleb with a K. Decay defeats the Undead Bridesmaids. Rhino challenges Violent by Design, including Eric Young. The Inspiration put out a challenge to the Undead Bridesmaids next week. Chris Sabin challenged Ace Austin. Mercedes Martinez defeats Madison Rain. For Madison Rain attacks Sabin Mickey James, but then Mercedes then attacks Mickey. Hernandez, Johnny Swinger, and Fala Bar will be teaming up next week to take on the team of Decay and the Demon. And in the main event, Eddie Edwards defeated Matt Cardona and W. Morrissey to become the number 1 contender for the Impact World Championship. Want to get thoughts, feelings, what you liked, what you didn't like? Let's kick it off with Jeff. You can start us this week.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I thought it was a pretty good show from the last week, which I think a lot of people thought was a great show. I don't know. I think maybe I was off, and maybe I'm just enjoying wrestling more, or whatever it is, by taking as kind of having a clear head and watching it when I want to watch it compared to when I have to watch it, which is lovely. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought there were things that I want to do. There's things that I would have written a little bit different. But for producing 52 episodes a year, I mean, it's pretty damn good television. I thought the production looked better. I'm very excited to see where this next step goes. I feel like Nashville was step 1. This is step 2. We're like the Benjamin Button of wrestling. Like, it felt like we were in 2012-ish again. So we started back into where we were in the small arenas. Now I think we're expanding a little bit, and hopefully by the end of the year we could get, especially with Hard to Kill kicking in, get into maybe like a 2010, dare I say, right before the shit hit the fan. But it felt that vibe. Production did. Everything had a purpose. I really liked the ImpactWrestling.com. This is how, last week on ImpactWrestling.com, these matches were set up. I dig that because it plugs the website, which, okay, cool. But multitasks in the sense that it also gives continuity to even this, what you would perceive as the throwaway feuds. And I don't mean that with any disrespect. I mean, like, you have your feuds that have been ongoing, continuous, and there's going to be some that are just for that set of tapings or for, a couple weeks just to help someone out. But I thought they did a really good job with those things. Everyone feels like they're part of something. I feel like I'm being redundant because I was already spoiled. I talked to Lucha, and we were talking about this right after it happened, but the whole Undead Brides actually coming to the ring, and then, Decay before that coming to the ring, then the Inspiration coming out to the ring to watch the match that division is on fire. Because you have entities, and I know you could say, well, Brandy and Lawrence aren't the best. It doesn't matter. First of all, Kimberly can wrestle any of those people out of the fucking water. Is that a phrase? I don't know, but she could.
I don't think so. But we'll go with it.
Blow them out of the water is where I'm going. And it doesn't matter. She's in the perfect gimmick. They have a perfect balance between art and wrestling and TV. I don't know. I just really felt like, and then the Inspiration come out, and it's just wonderful as always. So you had that going on. I liked all the little backstage things that, continue these stories. I like, once again, that they're getting out of the Impact Zone. And what I mean by that is not only the size of the arena was a little bit bigger and looked a little bit more full, but they're going into different scenes. You saw Josh backstage watching on a monitor. You saw Moose watching the main event from Sting's rafters. I don't know where he was. So you had all these things that they're doing. The Bullet Club, we are behind on the two divisions that I think we're going to talk about with number 2. But for what it is, I feel like they're finding the perfect opponents or foils to build the foundation of it. I think ELP and the Bullet Club with Chris Bay, obviously, them two together versus the Good Brothers, I think that's really good, because you got two guys who are veterans, who are cocky and whatever, and now you got these two young guys who are even cockier and kind of annoying and whatever. I really dig it. So they got the perfect foils there. And I feel like the same in all the rest of the division. So I think there's places that need to be fine-tuned, but I think they're heading there. And I think Hard to Kill is that next step in the evolution of, or I guess if we're Benjamin Button, then it's the de-escalation of him. I don't know. Anyways, Max.
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I think my favorite match was Bullet Club versus Finjuice. I just thought it was a good match to open up the show. I really enjoyed that. I thought the Suzuki-Caleb match was going to be longer. I saw a lot of people like, oh, watch a murder, and I thought he was just going to absolutely brutalize him, and I didn't feel like it was that much of a brutalization. But Suzuki is wrestling Josh Alexander next week, so most likely that's going to be a longer match. And obviously these things are taped in 2 days or 3 days, so you can't have him beat the shit out of him. You don't want to have him, if he's going to have a long match, you want to make sure he's fresh for it and not do too much before it. I thought that was good. I agree with you. I liked the Inspiration came out, and then I liked that they were you couldn't get it done, so we're going to go ahead and beat the hell out. I liked that. I liked the way that was done. The division is good. They've got, the interesting thing is, with each kind of tag division, they're kind of focusing on 3 teams, but they have other teams in the background that they can use. They're just choosing not to at this point, which means that if you have a 5 or 6 team division, but 3 are always in the front of the line, then it allows you that no one gets stale. It's not we've seen the same 5 teams over. Well, you've seen 3 teams, and then we'll rotate one out. We'll bring in, so it kind of allows you to get more mileage out of it without having to have 10 tag teams that you use. Right. So I like that. I really liked the triple threat match. I liked kind of the explanation that Scott gave Josh on why he wasn't in there. I thought that was well done. I'm a little disappointed we're going to be seeing the Demon again. I kind of hope that was a one-off.
It's a one taping.
I mean, I guess I was hoping to be one pay-per-view and I'd never see that guy again. I don't like Kiss to begin with, so. But hey, whatever. I think that's probably gonna be a funny match. I mean, everything's is going really well. Things are building up. The storylines, the Sam Beal versus Brian Myers storyline is really, really good. Out of Sam is somebody who, when he first kind of showed up, it's this guy's kind of like a lackey, and they're building him up. They're doing good things with what they have. So even with the Eddie with the Eddie versus Moose match, that's a match I feel like we've seen 100 times, but it's still a match that I'm excited for because now it's now for the title. I just feel like there's with Moose as the champion, I feel like there's more to like there's higher stakes.
Yeah.
Like this is a match that Moose has wrestled a bunch previously, but it's now for his title, so it's like it's higher stakes.
Yeah.
So I think everything they're doing is really good. They're making, like you said, they're making smart moves and smart decisions with the directions they take things. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. There's obviously a lot we can't get into in these shorter recaps or reviews of our own opinions or whatever. But I think you make a lot of good ones there, and a lot of ones that I wanted to to talk about and just kind of you only can fit in so much. But I think the Kiss thing, it's one tapings, it's his birthday. I don't mind it being a WCW guy. It's kind of a like, okay, let this guy get his I'm relevant thing. And I don't mean that in any rude way, but come on, man. It's just like David Arquette. Like, I'm happy to see him get his one-offs because, hey, ended off on a good note. No one deserves to have regrets in anything, especially on national television. So, I
mean, personally, I understand the one-offs. I would prefer, if we're doing a one-off, to have a one-off Judy Bagwell in a pole match. I think that would be something I'd be excited to see brought back for a one-off. But
well, she died this week, so great timing.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah.
Go back and
I will
edit
give.
that
No,
out.
I won't because this is live, and I will give. It'll segue to this. I will give credit to this because I'm never gonna steal someone's shit. But Lucha said when we found out at the same time, I think he said she's took the forklift to the sky. Oh, God bless it.
Rest in peace, Judy
Rest
Bagwell.
in peace. Take the forklift to the sky. Oh, man.
But, I mean, it would have been much better to have a one-off. It would have been her final
okay. All right.
shining
We're
light.
taking this somewhere. We don't need it to go.
Right then. Okay, dokes. Let's keep this thing going. Moving on to number 2. Kind of still Impact related,
Yeah.
but over past few months, Impact have decided contenders, particularly in the X division and the tag team division, triple threats.
Yeah.
Triple threats Bound for Glory, and all the four really knows Bound for Glory, and of course the tag team division is focused around Finn Juice, Bullet Club, and the Good Brothers. Is this? Don't be too overly critical, but is this lazy booking essentially, Max?
I don't think so. I think you have. So when you're just throwing people in there, I think it can be. But for the X Division Championship, obviously, you're looking to crown a new champion. So it makes sense, unless you're going to have some super long, drawn-out tournament, to just be like, hey, it'll be a triple threat in the finals. That way we can kind of get it done faster. And with the tag team, I mean, Finn Juice, Bullet Club, and Good Brothers, they all have history. So there's like an intertwined storyline there going back to like when the Good Brothers first lost the title to Finn Juice. So having those three in triple threat match and kind of an intertwined story, I don't think it's lazy booking. I actually think it's a good way to kind of keep feuds going with multiple people. If they continue to use it, I'll be a little meh. But for the most part, I mean, the X Division, it's a work rate title. Having 3 people makes it even harder for a champion to retain. So if it's going to be one of these titles that kind of changes hands more frequently, then a triple threat is the perfect way to do it, because you can have a champion, you could technically have Trey lose a title in a triple threat match and then very quickly get another title shot because he never actually lost. Somebody else did. So it makes it so that you can switch titles, but not making anybody look weak just because of the type of match. It's explosive, it's unpredictable, and they're hard to win. So I don't think it's lazy booking. I actually like what they've been doing so far.
Yeah. I'm with you. Beautifully said. I'm not in a give Max credit kind of day, mood kind of day. I just, I agree. I think that with the triple threat thing, I think on the surface you can say, Oh, well, they don't know how to build the program between two wrestlers. Let's throw them in triple threat. I don't think that's the case, and maybe some places it is the case. Sometimes, but at the same time, no one ever says, "Oh God, they're taking the easy route and it's a one-on-one match again." Just who gives a shit? There's a playbook that can only be told so many ways on that canvas. You got one-on-ones. Everything has been done. 2-on-2s. You have triple threat. There are things that if they were starting to do tornado tags every fucking week, then I think we can have a conversation. But with the triple threats, it's not like, and this is what I always say, I was like, do I love the X Division, like, revolver match, where it's a gauntlet match, like, you beat the next person, boom, you beat the next person. They're great, but the reason you don't do it all the time is because every single person in that match is taking a pin. They're each getting eliminated. They're each taking an L. Doesn't matter how long they lasted, they're still taking an L. With these triple threats, you never have the divisions go stale for the most part, while hopefully you're building up the next people. Because I think there's two different things here. I think the X Division in the men's tag is in a different category than the knockouts tag or whatever else we're comparing here, or the main event, I guess, as well, with the heavyweights, or the world, excuse me. I think that one, it has its contenders already kind of set and kind of locked in, while the other two divisions are rebuilding. I think FinJuice, we lose them sooner rather than later, as it seems Juice is probably going to go elsewhere.
Is he?
I think so. I think the writing's on the wall. I mean, he's got too much charisma and too good of a look not to try and make some big money in the States.
I mean, he was in WWE, and
hey man, all can be forgotten when you get paid.
And he was a hippie.
That's who he is. But but yeah, getting back to, I think we lose them. I think this is the perfect time to build up the true foil for the Good Brothers, which I think is the Bullet Club. And I won't jump ahead too. Obviously we're going to talk about Turning Point now, and at 6:30, 7:30 on next Saturday. But I think the Bullet Club take this. I think they're gonna put some fuel behind that. I think ELP is here for a little bit of a run. He's on the roster page. That doesn't mean anything per se, but I just think they're building something there with the three guys outnumbering the Good Brothers, which would make the Good Brothers need some help. Who that may be, we don't know. So I don't think I think there's many different options here. And while you're okay, we'll see.
Remember, it's Bullet Club versus the Good Brothers. Still two members of Bullet Club that could show up that we haven't seen. We could still get our dream match from Bound for Glory at Turning Point.
Yeah, I know,
a man can hope.
But these are the things that we're bringing up that, okay, we know definitively. We don't know definitively anything. We don't know Juice ain't touching WWE again, and Phantasma might be in Japan, but so could Chris Bay. Could they take the belt and book it? It could be a storyline. So anything is in play here, I think. And I think when we talk in we know it, we lose the excitement of it, because then when you're wrong, then it hurts. Kind of like, what was it? What was the last pay-per-view? Bound for Glory. Everyone's butthurt about. Carlito, I love you. All right.
All right. Kicking it to number 3 now. It was announced this week, last week, some point this week, I think. I've all track of time. I have no clue. It was announced through, I believe, Fightful, that Lady Frost has signed a multi-year deal with Impact Wrestling. We're excited. Is it a big move for Impact? And how are we feeling on the general roster of the Knockouts division and the direction the division is going in? Max, it's your turn.
It's my turn.
No, it's G's turn. G starts.
Craig.
Come on, Craig.
God, he's on BST time.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy. When you leaving? No, I'm just kidding. We love you. Yeah, man. So Lady Frost is someone. Now I feel bad, Craig. You know I don't mean it. We talk every day. Don't let these people think that I'm an asshole. I've said a lot worse. off camera. So Lady Frost, I will say surprised is actually the word I would use for her signing. Not only was it announced, it was announced as multi-year, which means to me, Impact it would be 2 to 3 years at the most, right? That's their shtick. Two generally, 3 maybe. But what they offer, it's nice to know what they offer, because after Bound for Glory, where we all were certain this person's coming, we heard this definitively, shit happened. They didn't come. We didn't get that. And we were left disappointed. For hype we might have built, but still disappointed nonetheless. So to see someone who I think personally has a lot of steam behind her, in the indies, a lot of buzz in NWA and being in AEW and being in Impact. So I think to see that we are the ones that she is ending up with is a good sign for Impact. Is it a CM Punk signing? No, it's not a CM Punk signing. But does this show that we have the ability to still offer and people still recognize that, hey, this is a family locker room, not family oriented, but it's their close-knit family. This is about creativity and being an artist and allowing you the ability, the best place for you, a launching point into what you want to become or stick around and be. So I think it's great. I think the direction of the division in general, both of them, I already praised the tag one, but as far as the singles, I don't know how long Mickey's holding it. I just don't know if they give it to her, and I know we could debate this next Saturday, or a little bit at 5, but the point is no matter where they take it, if it be, Deanna's coming back for the first time after losing it, so we got that going next week. We have Mercedes and Mickey at Turning Point. We have Madison kind of retaking her position as the Queen Bee. I never know how much I miss Madison until I see a backstage segment with Madison. And done right. Like, when it hits, it hits. And, like, that last week on Impact thing really got me. I was like, oh, man, she still can be that position. And to have a veteran like that, no matter if she wins the belt again or not, it's good to have on that proverbial shelf. She's there. She's another person that you can rely on to be a name and to kind of set the foundation of things when it gets a little rocky. So I'm very happy with the division in general. Would like to see where it goes. But when you sign Amasha and you say, yep, awesome point. When you sign Masha and you sign, we don't know if Mercedes signed or not. But
I thought she did.
I know she said she's
maybe not
weighing her options and she's on the roster page, but sore fin juice doesn't mean, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
But you have these people, that are filling the division with new up and comers. So I'd like to see how they present them, because I want them to introduce them, either vignettes or storylines. Yes, we know them, but I'd like to see them take this time to build challengers for that knockout division. Make characters. Create, if you're going to go with Masha and she's going to be Slamovic and she's going to be Russian, whatever, go for that. That's her shtick. That knockouts division, if not anything else, has the most colorful, I will say, definitive. When you see someone on TV, you probably could tell one of those knockout what their gimmick is in about 3 seconds. If not from looks, from them speaking, or from them wrestling. It's a very marketable group. It might be, especially with the ones coming up that we just signed, the most marketable, diverse, talented locker room that they've had. Period. Gail's still back there. She might not be working, she might not be wrestling, but she's back there, so she's part of it. But yeah, man, I'm beyond stoked with that. Maybe it's glass half full or whatever, but.
So for anybody wondering, Sting's out here baseball batting people in AEW. The more they change, the more things stay the same.
Is it RVD getting beat up for 17 fucking minutes?
I'm not saying who he's doing. I'm just saying he's out here baseball batting people. But no, I think it's a good signing. I agree with your statement that it's not CM Punk, it's not, an A-list signing. But if you think about, like, to me, like when ROH was at its best, like before New Japan, all that, before Bullet Club, like way before that, what they did is they had a roster of people that they had built up, and these people became stars. They weren't out there signing like, who was the most recent release guy? They just signed solid wrestlers. They built them up. They made them good. And then people are like, oh, I want to see this person. Same thing with Impact. AJ Styles was a nobody. They built him up over time. So I think that doing that, getting solid wrestlers in your divisions, increasing that depth, I would much rather have a bunch of B and C's all across the roster than one or two A's and a bunch of D and E's. Like, give me the depth, like a bunch of really solid wrestlers that you can build into stars, as opposed to just one or two stars that you feel like you have to put everything in. So I think getting the people they've added, they're working on they're building these people up, they're creating storylines. I think the Knockouts division is getting stronger and stronger with the people they've added, and it's smart because if you look, I think their other divisions are actually pretty strong. Obviously, tag team divisions are always a little rough because it takes two people to make one team, so you have to have more. But as I said, they've got teams they can go to if they need to. But their Knockouts division, which used to be the best women's division in wrestling, kind of dropped off as they lost some of their big stars here and there. So I think the people they've added are great wrestlers, and it gives them options on where they want to go with this stuff and new feuds to develop. So I think it's a good signing. I'm happy with it. And I think the Knockouts are in a great spot moving forward and I agree with you. I don't know how long Mickey's going to hold this title. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be a shorter reign. And I'm interested to see who they go with next. Is it going to be Mercedes, or is there somebody else that they have kind of like targeted as their next champion? We'll see.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting if they, as we talk about, developing people or whatever. Now, just to clarify first before I lose it, when you say B and C, they have the ability to be A's eventually.
Cool, correct. Yeah, I'm just talking about like right now. Like I would much rather
Fair.
you give me like solid depth and then build that depth than say we've got Roman Reigns and John Cena and then a bunch of nobodies because we spent all our money on Roman Reigns and John Cena. Like, give me the depth pieces and then build them up to the A level.
I like that. I think there's a lot of ways they can go. You could go put it on Mercedes if she signed and keep it going. And now you have a formidable person for Deanna, who I hope they put in some other division for a little bit. But you could easily do if they don't want to take the time for one reason or another, maybe they need to rejuvenate it quicker. You can do a tournament for a vacant title, and something happens with Mickey, she gets hit by a train or something. I don't know, or James Storm pushes her in front of him. You could do whatever it is, and then do video packages, kind of like the Mae Young or whatever it is. Mae Young Classic, is that what it's called? Used to be called.
Yeah. I think it's still the Mae Young Classic. It wasn't the
Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah, the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. I think now it's just the Women's Battle Royal.
It's the Speedy Battle Royal. Yeah.
But yeah. So I agree with you. I think we're in a good place, and I think you could go many ways. But you could do a lot of quick vignettes if you were to do that with a vacant title, and not even quick. You could build them up as in character. It doesn't have to be like, I'm blah and I'm here to work and I've worked so hard for 13 years. Not that bullshit. You can have them be introducing them as Lady Frost with Snow. You know what I mean? Like, you could do some cool shit.
Well, I mean, like they did with Macklin. Like, they built him up slowly through the vignette. Like, you go back and watch the old Glacier stuff when he was coming. That's the stuff that you can do with Lady Frost, except
it'll work.
She's good.
And it'll work now. That's the difference.
That's true.
Also, I want to touch on that. Yeah, man, a lot of good signings that people are underestimating or not talking about intentionally, because they're not big names or whatever it may be. But that division also is going to add eventually Taylor Wilde and possibly Taya back. I mean, it's not like this. This division isn't going to decline anytime soon. Knock on wood.
Right.
Speaking of divisions.
Yeah. Yes. Move on. Number 4. Of course, the Digital Media Championship division, the DMC division, kicked off officially at Bound for Glory pre-show as Jordan Grace became the first ever Digital Media Champion. How are we feeling on the direction of the division so far? It's still early, but how does it look to you? And the people in the division, for instance, Jake Something, should he really be in this division, or is there something else he could be doing? As well as Chelsea Green and amongst like the likes of Chelsea Green, Alicia Edwards, John Schuyler, is Jake Something someone who should be in that division? Max, now I should say.
AEW update: former Impact Tag Team Champions Lucha Brothers are now wrestling. One of the guys from the Revival has a wicked mullet, but I'm not sure which one it is. Very, very strong, very well done. No, I think hair. I like what they're doing with the. What'd you say?
The one with hair.
I know, but I don't know what his name is. Is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's Dash or Cash or Cock Hardstrong or whatever his name is. It's one of those two.
It's Cash.
Okay,
it's Cash. Dash. Oh.
No, I think what they're doing with the Digital Media Championship is great. They said it's going to be a intergender championship, and the first number one contender match we have has 2 women and 2 men. That's great. Like they're keeping and they're sticking to this idea that anybody can hold this title. So I like what they're doing with that. In terms of the people they're putting in it, to me, this is a championship that you can literally take somebody and be like, okay, we're going to put you in a quick program here just to give you something to do, and then we'll put you back where we want you. So with Jake Something, hey, we want to build you for the title, but right now it's Eddie and Moose, so we're going to go ahead and give you this for a little while. Or it's just a championship that you can kind of rotate people through. It's a title, so outside of Josh Alexander, there shouldn't be anybody that's like, I'm too good for the Digital Media Championship. Like you're not a champion, so unless you're literally the guy who just had his title stolen, you should be happy for any title you're going for. So I think the people they're using is smart. I think it can, especially if you want to get it off Jordan, if you want to give it to somebody, if it rotates quickly, it's a way to kind of give people little boosts and just give them something to do and also get them more exposure. So if you're looking to see, let's get somebody more exposure, especially if these matches, I know some of them were going to happen like on YouTube or online. I mean, you can film these matches and then be like, hey guys, here's a digital media match.
Right.
On a random, like you can do stuff like that. So I think it's a smart thing that they're doing with it. I think everybody they're using wasn't really doing too much before. And I just think kind of pulling people, putting them into a little program and then sending them back and then doing something else is just a smart thing for them to do with the way they're handling things. So.
Yeah, it's keeping people, and I'm not using this term in a derogatory term because you'll see what I say afterwards, but they're keeping people out of catering. Okay. Are any of these people you would make a joke about of being in catering? No, I think they're actually, in kind of to Craig's question, the people in this division have not won or lately won anything next level, right? They have not won a title for the most part. Chelsea did back at Lord Van Ness days. I think it's the European / TV title. It's below the 2 worlds. It's not the X division, but it's there. And what it does is exactly what you're saying. I think it gives someone something, including Jake, something to do. Because I know everyone loves Jake. Everyone likes his size, even though I think Cardone is bigger than him. Everyone likes his look. Everyone likes his talent. And I agree. But he needs that extra, once again, pun intended, something. He doesn't have a character. He doesn't have a... Could he go to VBD and step up that way? Yeah, that'd be instant something for him. But they kind of... He fell off of that feud and nothing was left because he can go, but he doesn't have the show yet. And he's got to figure that out, or they have to figure that out for him. So this is a perfect place for him to be. The X Division they're presenting as no longer the, hey, you're new, come and get this. The X Division is the work rate title. You come here, this is the Intercontinental title, is how I feel about that X Division right now.
Yeah.
And they're doing a great, Josh did a great job at that, Booking's doing a great job with that. The way they're presenting, how they come up with the new challengers is doing that. So, if that's already how they're going to establish that title, you need something that gives everyone else who needs that next step up something to do. And yes, if you want to call it lazy booking, later you can go down the road at any time in the company's future and say, well, DMC, I want to cash that in for, you could do anything with it. You can make an option C for it. You can not go that route and be totally whatever and just say, hey, I'm this champion. I want to take the next step up. Title versus title. You can do a lot of things with that title or that prop that you couldn't do with just a feud on BTI or on YouTube. So it gives them something. It makes sense to give it to Jordan, who's already established, making her a Triple Crown and the first Triple Crown champion for the knockouts in history. She's great with it on Twitter and all other social media, so that works as well. For the name part of it, I like people going for it. The thing I did cringe a little bit at, especially when Chelsea was talking about it, was the Digital Media Championship Division. Digital Media Championship. Digital Media Division. Like, that just sounds fucking weird. I'm okay with it be calling the DMC or something slick like that, or the Digital Media Division. It's too wordy, too mouthy, or too whatever, and it's just like, I don't know. It's like the wrestling match champion. It just feels very generic.
Yeah, I think just DMC
works.
champion is a good one. I think that works.
But the point, to their credit, I want to give shout out to D'Lo and Stryker, who have been building chemistry for weeks here, and obviously Josh steps in once in a while. Matt goes, does his MLB stuff. But the great job of selling. I think Max, you mentioned it last time too. Of just they're bringing out points that necessarily I wouldn't think of, or they're putting people over that make me think that they could win the match when I didn't. Normally would be like, they can't win, But I digress. So, But the point was they're calling it a division, so that shows you right there that they're going to take it as such. I think our number one fear of any new title Impact brings in is it gets put to the wayside, or the rules get changed all the time, or the name gets changed all the time. I think they're sticking with this. I like it. It works. It has a purpose, especially in the digital media age. The name is here or there. As far as being the best looking belt in the company, I don't know, man. Them tag titles are.
I mean, I like their belts. I think they're really good.
I hate the knockouts.
I like the knockouts, but I mean, to me, like the digital media championship, like you think, oh, that sounds weird, but imagine when someone first came out with the television championship.
Right.
What the hell is like? Right. That's why is it just a television champ? Like, you're the champion of all television. Like, it's something that we've gotten used to now, but it's just kind of one of those things.
It's X Division.
It'll happen. I mean, literally, AEW has the TBS and the TNT championship. Like, it's just kind of what you choose. With your response to Jake, something I agree with what you said about him in general. He reminds me of one of those, and I don't want this to sound bad, but like your classic indie wrestler who's great in the ring, but then it's like, oh, well, is he good on the mic? You're like, well, no, not. He doesn't really have a character. He's just a great wrestler like that. Well, what's his gimmick? He's a great wrestler because he just goes from place to place, and it's his wrestling that people want to see, not his character work. And I feel like once you move up on TV, you have to develop that character. And I do feel like he's still missing that. He is great in the ring, though, but he's still missing, like you said, that's something.
That little extra.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like we're hurting Greg. Craig just loves him some Jake
I
something.
asked him when he's leaving, Jake something.
I'm a huge Jake something guy. I just think, man. I mean, because I just want to say one other thing that Jordan Grace isn't going to lose his title yet. So if it's, I hate the word believability, but Jake something loses this match, then okay, I get it, but he kind of has to win for it to be believable and all that crap. But he's not going to beat Jordan Grace.
No, he doesn't have to win because somebody else picks up the win.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be in the ring. He's outside talking to somebody in the crowd when Chelsea eats a pin or something. Like, that's the great thing about these matches. The only the person that gets pinned has an issue. Everybody else is fine.
It's just heading off in a direction I'm getting a bit nervous about.
First it was Triple XL for you, Craig. Now it's Jake something. I feel like Jake something is a talent, and they're not going to just throw that to the wayside. I have faith in their... Now, granted, we don't know contract situation. We don't know his, behind-the-scenes things. But from all intents and purposes, he seems like a good dude. He's got talent. He's going to shine no matter what because, yes, exactly. He's a talent. Now, I was actually thinking about this today when I was rewatching it. With the thing with Sam Beal, you got the soldiers behind him, you got Rich Swann and Willie Mack in full gear and all that, and you got Sam Beal coming up, and they're putting him over, and he's putting them, whatever. It's like, it feels, and the reason I said the 2012 thing, it feels like the people that are in Impact right now aren't necessarily lifers, but they're in Impact. Like, it just feels very much so like, you know what, Rich and Willie are showing this kid around, the way, and they're going to have his back and all this. And it's like, before you'd be like, are they even going to fucking be there? Why would they give a shit about this, bringing in this new kid and showing him the right way to integrate him in the locker room? It's things like that we can sit back and say, just because a Jake something isn't winning right now, or just because Jake something hasn't gotten the time he deserves from the writers yet, or the bookers, whatever the fuck you want to call it, creative, eventually he might love it there enough to stick around, wait for his time, do the right thing, and eventually break through that glass ceiling. So I think we're in a position now where we have a great crop of mix of everyone, and everyone deserves a position, has a position, but we'll see if it changes.
Yeah, and time will tell. So now we move on to the fifth and final. We go to Turning Point. I get your thoughts and feelings on the card so far. But the card so far as it stands, we have Trey Miguel defending the X Division Championship against Laredo Kid. And whether Steve Macklin's in that match, we'll find out next week. The Inspiration defended their Knockouts Tag Team Championships against the former champions in Decay. Mickie James defends her Knockouts World Championship against Mercedes Martinez. Moose defends his Impact World Championship against Eddie Edwards. And the Good Brothers defend the World Tag Team Championships against the Bullet Club. The match has officially been announced, but of course we have kind of touched on Chris Sabin and Ace Austin, and also Heath and Rhino versus Violet by Design. Bring your thoughts, please, on the card. And if you want to touch on predictions a little bit, go for it. But of course, as you mentioned, we have that pre-show coming up next week. But Jeff.
Yeah, I'm smiling so much because this pay-per-view, or whatever it is, live plus special, from top to bottom is something I'm interested in. Now, would I watch it anyways, even if it was a stinker? Of course I would. But that's not the point. From top to bottom, this card is something where I could feel that anything could happen on any given match, and there's nothing where I'm like, bathroom break. I don't see that here. They all have storylines. They all have, a reason that they're fighting, one reason or another. I think we'll see maybe some changes world title. I won't get into predictions. But this turning point, pun intended, is a very good time, and I guess that's why they put it after Bound for Glory, to show the new direction, or at least for the next quarter, of what Impact is going to be. So, does Mercedes Martinez win the title? Does Mickie James retain and is still on Impact? Where is Moose's champion? Is it just Laredo Kid? Do they put a rocket on his back and let him beat Macklin this week and then just be a viable opponent for Trey? There's a lot of different ways they could go with this. Inspiration versus Decay again. So, all of that is happening. And then I look to my right, well, it's your guys' right as well, we're right above the numbers, and I see Turning Point live November 20th. I forget the fact that it's actually live. It's not taped to tape live to tape and then played. This is going to be live in Vegas. Which says to me, if they chose this as that jump off for it, something is going to happen that's not whatever. That is out of the ordinary. I don't want to hype it, because if it doesn't, this card is already banging. But it interests me that it's live and they chose this one for it to be so.
The return of AJ Styles. Go big or go home. So I agree with you about the whole live thing. The fact that, so normally with these, I obviously watch them, but normally if I'm doing something or if there's a good college football game on, instead of watching them like live, like as they air, I'll watch them the next morning, or I'll watch them something. With it being live, like you said, it's something, I want to make sure I watch this. I want to catch this. I want to see what happens. Most of the time you're like, okay, I don't really think there's going to be a title change, because you don't want to waste a title change at a pre-taped event. So there's going to be solid matches. But with this, with it being live, anything could happen. I do think we'll see a title change or two possibly. So I'm excited about that. And I think, top to bottom, the matches we have announced are all really good matches. Like Trey versus Laredo Kid is going to be awesome. The Inspiration versus Decay is going to be an exciting match because it's their second match. Like Inspiration's it'll be their third match because they wrestle next week, but still. It's their third match. That's going to be exciting. Mickie James versus Mercedes Martinez is going to be awesome. Moose versus Eddie is going to be phenomenal. And the Good Brothers versus Bullet Club is going to be good. So, like you said, there's not a stinker. There's not a bathroom break on here. Maybe they'll add, I don't know, Caleb with a K versus some random person from the crowd to give us a break so we can run to the bathroom real quick. But, it's top to bottom. It's a great card. It's going to be exciting. And I agree with you. I think that the fact that they're making this live, maybe not like earth-shattering, but there's something that they wanna do here. There's some big plot twist they want to throw in there that they didn't want people to know about, and spoil before it happened. So to me, I agree with you there. It's Impact is very smart when they do things. They design things really well, and I feel like this is designed for some type of twist or surprise. So
I think that's a great way to put it, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be John Cena, but it could be a couple new people. It could be some of the people we already mentioned just finally showing up after they've already signed. So maybe some debuts, maybe some people's visas get worked out and they can make it in time. There's a lot of different things here. It could just be a title change. But I think it's a good point to make, Max, that it could just be a big plot twist or big plot change. Just it's setting, as we said.
Yeah, there's something that they didn't want people to know about and spoil. Yeah. So, and like you said, it could just be the Bullet Club, it could just be a title change or something, but they're like, we want this to be live.
For sure.
to add to the excitement.
I don't disagree. The only thing I have a question is, does anyone know is it going to be a set or 10 o'clock show again?
Oh fuck! I hope not. Let me look here.
Or 10? Is it 11? What was it? 10? Yeah, 10.
Right now, it doesn't give me a time frame. It just says it airs live when I'm looking on.
It would make
what's this?
It would make sense though, being
Wikipedia.
from Vegas, if they're doing it at a normal 8 o'clock showtime there, then we're looking at 10, 11 here, depending on if they choose 7 or 8.
I prefer if they at least go with 7.
Then it's 10.
So maybe then it starts at 9.
Yeah.
Oh no, it'd be
10.
10. Maybe start at 6.
Is it? Wait, it's 3 years? Or it's 3 years? Jesus Christ!
It's 3 hours. Yes, and it's
3
California.
hours. Okay.
I can't handle another 3 a.m. show start. I really
With all the
can't.
extra sleep though you're getting, Craig, from for doing a show on BST time, you can watch and stay up for these, Craig.
Yeah, pre-show
Yeah.
9:30 p.m.
Okay.
So it's going to start at
Well,
10.
shit. Maybe we should start a normal time then.
10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, man. Why the fuck are we going to
Yeah.
wait? Be there pre-show.
Gonna be. Why not? I mean, it's gonna be one hell of a card just by those 5 matches alone. Well worth staying up for.
Especially if you already have the
Staying
app.
up for.
I mean, or the YouTube. Like, I mean, the YouTube insiders. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the insiders deal is such a good
Yeah.
deal. You know, $5.99, $4.99. It's and you get every show
Yeah.
free, every plus special free-ish. So you pay for one, and you get the rest of the month free. It's
Well, these
Awesome.
motherfuckers don't pay us, so let's let's plug our own shit.
So, quick update. Miro is on now on AEW. So
Ribbon.
I have a question. So, Miro calls himself God's favorite wrestler,
Mhm.
and Moose is the wrestling god.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Miro is Moose's favorite wrestler?
Yes.
I think Moose is Moose's favorite.
Oh, that's possible too. Okay. So just throwing some questions out here that came to my mind when I was watching everything. Just thinking.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, guys. It's been fun. So I guess now that we know the time, as long as Impact doesn't change it, which I doubt they will, we're looking at we'll do our normal
8 to 9.
Yeah, our normal show, 8 to 9. We'll do 8 to 9 next week,
Normal
and then
show.
we'll do Sunday show as well as a review there. So jump in there in the live chat. I'm sure we won't be going against an AEW pay-per-view, so I'm sure it'll be even more lively. But thank you to the people that are lighting it up tonight. Love everybody. We thank everybody. I want to plug, obviously we're plugging Turning Point as a time of change for Impact, or what
As a
as
turning,
a turning point for Impact as far as where we're going to go in the next quarter for Impact. But remember, Hard to Kill is in Dallas in January. So no matter what you say about if you're a first timer to Impact or coming back or don't want to tell anyone that you like it, doesn't matter. Or you're a big long-time fan. For those who are worried about venues, go look up where they're going to be performing in Dallas. Okay, doesn't mean they'll sell out. They've been already selling. So I think last week they started selling them.
It's like what, 2,000 people it holds?
Might want to look again. I think it's 4,500.
Is it that much?
I
Holy
thought
shit,
it was
okay.
the Bomb Factory. Double check. We could double check. But either way, these performers deserve it. When I was watching the thing and going back to the 2012 metaphor analogy, whatever the fuck it is. Did I use Liker as simile? I don't know. It was, the ramp is bigger. I know it sounds silly. I know it sounds really small and nitpicky. But the stage, when I saw, I didn't really notice until FinJuice used it, including Juice, who obviously goes to it, and you could see whatever, during the entrance. And then going down the rampway, the shot they can do with the fans and the crowd over there, it looked very Impact Zone-y from 2012-ish era, or maybe a little bit before. Imagine what it's going to look like. And I think that was 800 people allowed, or something like that. What was? Anyone know what Bound for Glory's?
I don't know. It was definitely more than Slammiversary.
For
Because
sure.
I want to say from looking at it, I think it was like Slammiversary was what, 2 rows deep?
We'll say about 200, 225 people.
Yeah, so I'd probably say 3 to 4 times that, because it looked like it was 4 or 5 rows deep from what I remember when I was watching Bound for Glory, what it looked like.
So we'll say 700 to 900. We don't know, maybe 1,000. 700 to 1,000, doesn't matter. If this is already selling, and I got to check up on that, we'll get an update. Either way, it's going to be held there. You know, if they have to hide everyone on the opposite side of hard cam or not, it's going to be held in Dallas in a bigger venue with the tapings happening there as well, right? If I'm not mistaken. So we are going to get a month or two of quality entertainment where these people get to do what they're already doing. Nothing different, nothing special, but just in a bigger group of people, which they deserve. Because they're watching Impact, man, you see them come out, and there's some people clapping. Sure, maybe they need a mic better, whatever it may be. But eventually crowds get tired. And if you have a spackling of clapping, imagine if you have 4 times that amount of spackling of clapping. Like, every little a bit helps. So,
yeah, and I agree.
So I'm excited about that. We're hitting our time, so Craig, why don't you wrap us up and we'll say our goodbyes.
Yeah, so as I normally say, if you're watching us on YouTube, then hit subscribe, follow us here, there, and everywhere. And I just want to say one thing that coming next week now, but just before Turning Point, we'll be doing a predictions contest, and we will be doing a giveaway. So stay tuned to social medias for that. Follow us here, there, and everywhere. Follow one of us wherever you see us. And I guess we'll see you all next time for some more nonsense live.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Thank you. We'll see you Saturday, normal time, for Turning Point preview show. Pre-show. Max, did you have something you look?
Last AEW update. Bryan Danielson has the same haircut you used to have back when you wore the man bun when we played soccer.
Riveting stuff. Insider behind the curtains.
I mean, I don't want to give away like the matches in case someone's going to go watch them. But I want to tell. But I at least want to say something about like what's going on. I don't want to be like, oh, this person won, and someone's like, motherfucker, I was watching you guys, and I was going to go watch that. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, the people.
Because apparently I did it with AEW Rampage or something. So.
Yeah, could have fooled me. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Time to rock and roll all night and part of every day, right, Max?
Yeah, I'm too old to party every day. It's got to be part of
every day.
Maybe every other day at this
3
point.
to 4, 3 to 4 p.m. That's when I can party. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. We love you. Hit like, subscribe, all that jazz. And look out for some new great additions coming this week to the TNAIW team. Bye, guys.
Later, guys.